once again to Global Reports here on Liberty Television in our Kaduna studio number 1. As usual, we follow the trending news from around the globe and in Nigeria. And as usual, we welcome all our viewers watching us on Star Time and watching us on GoTV and watching us on free-to-air and all the stations across Nigeria and across West Africa, and all the people watching us on the internet, on Facebook and Facebook and YouTube. Thank you. Once again, we welcome in our studios our two favourite guests. That is Mr. Ferdinand Okonkwo and Professor Khalifa Dikwa. Long time you've been away.
Yes, I've been away. I'm back.
He's back. Okay, first of all, we're looking at the United Nations General Assembly is in progress. And watch this short video.
The big highlight is Trump's speech. As ever, everybody talks about the Americans as if they're the only story at the General Assembly. But of course, there are many other issues boiling there. However, expectations are not very high that we'll make a lot of progress on the big issues, the big conflicts such as Syria or Yemen, where there is a complete lack of consensus at the UN Security Council, and not only with the Americans, but also the other big powers at the Security Council, to make any meaningful progress.
Now, every year at around this time, we talk about the UN's role and its lack of action with regards to so many of the world's crises. Do we still need the UN, I guess, is the question on a lot of people's minds?
Absolutely, we still need it. Its original purpose was to manage great power tensions, to stop the great powers going to war with each other. And in that sense, it still works. I mean, this is a place where Russia, China, the Americans, and others, of course, still talk to one another. And they talk to one another a lot about a lot of different places. Sometimes those conversations are confrontational and adversarial, but often they're collaborative and cooperative, even if we don't see progress about some of the big issues, the most bloody, deadly conflicts in front of us. That does not mean that the institution doesn't matter. It is not enjoying the heyday that it enjoyed perhaps in the late 90s and early part of the 21st century, however.
Yeah. So the General Assembly has taken off, and of course our own President Buhari is there, along with all the other world leaders. Professor Dikwa, what do you have to say about the United Nations?
Exactly.
Today?
United Nations is the most important gathering of representatives from the world. That is the all that make up of the world, i.e. 195 or so, 93 countries from across the world. Initially, just like the report said, it is about stemming a war, a confrontation war between the big elephants. When two elephants fight, the grass suffers a lot. And particularly after the World War, just to avert a situation in which America in particular will go to war with Soviet Union in the past. Today we have Russia, we have China, and so on. While the real devil's advocates who make up the arms to sell them arms, they were all their own countries, in the leading countries, America, Britain, and so on. They have to create a war in order to sell arms. War is a business to them. The United Nations now will have to sit up now and say again, now, instead of allowing America alone to dictate certain things, now that America under Donald Trump says it can no longer fund the United Nations the way it used to be, and therefore the remaining countries now should sit up now and say, subsidize whatever that the United Nations needs. They should be able to pay in with their own funds and so on in order to keep it up, even if it means moving the seat from New York to another place, it is also possible. But even though America has never been harassing the seat of the United Nations, but now it says this is enough of extra funding. Those who pay the piper dictate the tune. And that now it is supposed the United Nations to now have its own position as a neutral body that to say enough of enough, and that if a particular leading country decides to go into the way America went into Iraq, despite its noise and so on, you should be able to stamp its feet and say, no, you are not going there. There will be repercussions. And then again, the same thing that should happen with other countries. Why is it that Latin America, the entire continent of Latin America, doesn't have representation at the Security Council? The entire Africa that makes up over 50 countries with its votes and so on do not have representation. And it is not democratic. The United Nations needs to do some reforms.
More democratic,
just the way FIFA decided to bring in more countries in order to give them a say. So United Nations should be the umbrella of all the regional organizations and so on. But the international laws must be adhered to, must be seen to be adhered to, particularly when America decides to do certain things. America does it without even thinking of any repercussions. So does Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ferdinand, I'd like you to come in here.
Well, UN, we'll keep discussing UN. But the most important thing I will have to pick in this is that America is gradually withdrawing from being the police of the world. Trump is giving us signal that America is no longer in support of globalization.
Which is good.
And we love it. Let them go home and relax.
Relax a bit.
And then give us a chance to breathe.
But don't you think the United Nations is a bit of a toothless tiger?
What?
The leadership role should be shared among the others.
When you mention UN, it's just an umbrella for the big countries to keep suppressing the small countries.
Exactly.
That's it.
Isn't the problem really the veto?
The veto is, but for the five, if veto is given to one or two African countries, they will not allow wars to go in.
Simple.
But
If you give it to Latin America, you will not allow.
Should there even be a veto?
Veto shouldn't be. In fact, shouldn't be veto.
Is there any logical political reason for anybody to have a veto? I don't know.
It is just about we are all equal at the United Nations, but some are more equal
than others. Yeah.
That is the
Animal Farm.
Animal Farm, exactly. So that is it. Let it be neutral. Let us have more hands, if at all it wants to remain relevant.
Yeah. Because when you look at it,
America will never go to war with
Israel or
Russia, with Russia or even China,
because they are aware of the mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
But does Russia still have mutually assured destruction anymore?
There will be no winner.
No winner, no.
Yeah, of course now.
But even if there is a winner.
So who is the loser in this case?
Yeah.
The loser
mutual destruction.
We, the third world countries, or the so-called, that are just at the receiving end of their superpowers.
Yes.
They are using us as the seed of the Ludo.
Yes.
Throwing us as the dice to their own.
They will come for the resources.
Yeah.
They will just come around.
But isn't that you mentioned mutually assured destruction?
Yes.
Should we even be having that in 2018?
Now with this technology, we shouldn't have.
Why should we have?
The secrets are
Why do we want to destroy ourselves?
We are the ones that will. Okay, look at what is happening in Syria.
Yeah.
America will always have problem with Russia because it's all about power struggle.
It's a proxy war, even in Yemen.
They will always be engaged in proxy war anywhere, anytime in the world. Why?
One side the Saudi, the other side Iran.
Unfortunately, other countries too are copying from American Saudi Arabia and Iran into war in Yemen.
But the biggest problem is what has the United Nations ever solved? Really?
Nothing. nothing because the real culprit are the main funding fellow.
The 5 superpowers determines the direction of the
Because they give more money. America does more money. That is why the United Nations does little or nothing against America. And America is the errand boy of the state
But
of Israel.
isn't that I mean, I don't agree with Donald Trump, but he has an argument that other countries do not donate
enough money, which is correct.
which is also true. Yeah, I guess.
Who is the greatest beneficiary of UN? A situation where the whole country will agree on a certain thing, and one country will just raise the finger and say no, and
that's the end of it.
So who should be paying?
Yeah.
America and the 5 big countries should be sponsoring.
The 5 are America, Russia, UK is one of them. Yes, who else? France, yes. China. Germany doesn't have any. No, doesn't have a say. Yeah.
So they decide, and the veto power. So let it go around. Let other countries contribute.
If they want other countries,
one at a time, gentlemen. One at a
they
time.
should give us the chance to be having our veto too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let us be able to
Because after all these big countries, let me put it in a layman for the layman to understand, was just like the way they created virus. They invade your computer, and then the same people created antivirus for which you must pay. That is how they create a war. And they look for you to buy their arms in order to fight it.
And the war will never be fought in their countries.
No. Not in Europe, not in America.
Proxy war in the people who are suffering the most.
All these weapons.
They created all the insurgencies, Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram. They all were created by the same West.
Well, it's a conspiracy theory. We've never been able to.
But you have to understand now, it is not possible without people from within contributing. It is not possible. We have to just look inside and then sit on the tail of the devil.
Who is the devil? Is it Donald Trump? Is it?
No, our own devil. The African devil. The African devil is more dangerous.
This one can go on. But what was interesting today, just before I came on the show, I saw that Donald Trump had made a speech saying how wonderful America was.
Yeah.
And all the delegates, all the heads of state from the government, the world, started laughing.
Yes.
And his face was picture. He said, I didn't expect this.
No, Donald Trump exposed.
See the power of laughter. The power of
the best
laughter.
administration in the history of America.
Oh, yeah.
So-called. The best administration.
If 20 years ago somebody had made a film about Donald Trump's America, people said, that can never happen.
That's the power.
The man is still living in the world of the cowboy.
No, it is. Donald Trump is a blessing in disguise for the world.
I think I understand where you're going.
Yes.
Because what's happened is people start to think.
Exactly.
If this idiot can start to say this and say that and influence this and influence that, we better sit up and think where the world is going.
We have to think out of the box.
Yeah.
But most of us, the elite, who are very bombastic about English and French language, most of it, there is a lot of psychology war that links us to the colonial powers. We feel too big. If China, Germany, Russia had English or French as their main language, they wouldn't have been where they are
now. Yeah, it's true. Gentlemen, we want to move on a bit. We've set the world right at the United Nations, and now we come to see if we can set Nigeria right. We have just had elections in Osun State. Perhaps who will explain that best? Let Ferdinand have it. Go on this one.
Okay. Election at Osun.
Inconclusive.
Inconclusive in the first place, with so many candidates.
48
parties to land.
Let us just watch a short report from Channels before we go into the discussion. Can we watch the report from Channels Television? It's just a minute, I think.
Where the margin of win between two leading candidates is not in excess of the total number of registered voters of the polling units where elections were cancelled, a candidate or a party may not be returned. From the analysis of results that we have, the difference between the two leading parties is just 353. And the number of voters in units where elections were cancelled is 3,498. To that effect, unfortunately, as a returning officer, it's not possible to declare any party as the clear winner of this election on the first ballot. But I must commend the people of this state to be very peaceful. Hard work means more work. The Independent National Electoral Commission will announce the date when another ballot will take place. Thank you. Declare the election inconclusive. I, Joseph Adiola Puakwe, hereby declare this election inconclusive. Thank you.
Okay, there we have it. Osun State elections. Prof, would you like to explain things to us?
I will explain to the common man what happened between the two contestants, the main two contestants. The difference between them is 353. And that to show you that the ruling party has a lot of challenges. Even though the structure of Governor Oshola is known for doing the right thing, no stealing, nothing, a lot of, in terms of school and so on. But the likelihood is that he decided to say the big people who are into level 14 and above and so on were taking the money, a lot of money. Let us sit together. They sat together and then gave percentage. Then the most of the salaries went to those with lower income and so on. And that did not go well with the secondly, you see, we have a situation in which you have problems of casting, over voting, and then one of the electoral officers absconded, particularly in areas like Ile Ife North, Ile Ife South. You have Orolu and Oshogbo and so on. All this put together, no matter what. Some lawyers, I know that some lawyers are good at playing gymnastics in the courts and talking about this is a clear cut in a situation in which some people were disenfranchised from voting. We should give them another opportunity to cast. The difference between the two now is just a 353, while those who are unable to vote, not because of their own will, it was because of the circumstance, ballot snatching and so on. They were denied. There were at least 3,498, almost 305, which is higher than the difference between the two. And therefore, this amount of, even if it means 353, it will have made a difference. It means just 300 of 3, some will go to APC, then will make a difference. Or the remaining parties, particularly SDP, with that Omishore and so on, where APP aid, when people who are influential, who have many people behind them, and then they decide to go away, and then you call them, they don't mean and they don't matter a lot. They matter a lot. With the votes that were taken by Omishore, all these votes will have gone to APC. That will have made APC to win. And that it is abnormal for APC to feel too big because changes are imminent. It is not just about APC and PDP. Nigerians may one day wake up to look to pick a small party and then vote. Get somebody as a governor, as a president, get somebody energetic who knows politics of the world, who knows Nigeria very well, who doesn't steal, who feels the pulse of the common man. Then Nigerians will one day say, enough, let us go the Singapore way, and we can make it.
It's a long time overdue. Ferdinand, please, come in here.
Yes, I may not be interested in the technicalities of who voted and who voted not, and who won and who didn't win. But the lessons of this election, the lessons are very clear. Those who think they are already over there should know that they are nowhere. You see, this arrogance of our politicians is what pisses me off. You know, some of them believe that the moment they are there, nobody can touch them. Nobody can do anything. We can win election without you. Look at the clear example. Omisore was, displeased by the primary election that brought out the PDP candidate, and they told him to hell. Yes. Today, PDP are going cap in hand, begging him to support them in the supplementary election. Why didn't you do what you are doing now when the man was annoyed because of the primary election? Why didn't you do it? You thought you could do it without him. Today you are back to begging. Today you are back to negotiate in a very hard, difficult condition with him. This is the lesson we must learn.
Yeah, exactly.
These are our politicians. The arrogance is something else. Imagine today, in the nation today, the government in power feels that they can win an election without Nigerians. That's the mentality you are seeing everywhere. We can win this election without Nigerians. Yeah. Probably the spirits from the air will come and vote them.
You this.
We don't know what is going on. The policy shows that, look, we don't care about you. Their attitude shows that we don't care about you. Their body languages show that, look, we don't care about you. It's all about power, power, and the arrogance of power.
Yeah, but then Nigerians are part of the problem because they will accept 1,000 or 2,000 naira to vote for somebody.
You just think that money can buy every politician.
No, we can. By talking, we can do it. That is how Singapore fixed it. So it is just the arrogance of PDP in the past. APC is also not learning a lesson. It is also going the same way, being arrogant, thinking that with power we can do it. With 18,000 security personnel for Ocean State alone, for goodness sake, what about if the elections are holding at the same time for 30, at least 30 states? How are you going to get this personnel to do it, to militarize everything? And today, 48 for one seat, which is okay. My home state, Borno State, for APC alone, about 23 or so. In all, there were 26 now vying for one seat.
And
Borno is a very sensitive place because of international politics, Lake Chad region. You must know somebody who knows a lot, brainy like the present governor have said, would be able to face the reality, those who are challenging you from outside, those who are cronies within the system to sabotage, and then you should also know the culture of the people around, and then plus knowing some French, which is good to say. Borno State was part of a particular empire called the Kanem Borno in the past, that the West, the intelligence of the West had all along been trying to dismantle in order to get into Nigeria. That has not been possible until we got weakness in the leadership then for them to now to bring it up. You remember the time President Obasanjo retired people across, those who are experts in intelligence and so on. He retired them and then moved the armaments from the north, particularly Monguno and Borno State, to the south. That opened the gate for insurgency. That to show you that some of our leaders are doing certain things for their principles outside the country. And with Donald Trump now, who says, I don't care.
He doesn't care about the rest of the world.
Which is good for us.
Which is probably better,
America first, which is good.
Fine, keep it.
Keep it. And
the rest
Brexit
of the world
is also,
will reorganize themselves.
British are saying now Brexit or if they are going back for another voting, then they will say now it is good to be part of a community, European Union, than to be alone. After all, British had all along been alone with her daughter, America. And America, the daughter, the big daughter now is saying, America first, British cannot survive without the rest of the world.
Yeah, now even talking about Brexit, I understand they've taken polls from younger people, surveys, and they found
the main stakeholders that America and Nigerian politicians do not want to remember. The young, they have the energy, they have their way with them. The older generation who are above 70 should be able now to give them advice. But the energy, the younger ones are the real stakeholders in the country. That was how Singapore started with young, looking you and so on. They fixed it.
But he had to be very tough in the beginning.
The same thing with Mao.
But it worked.
Chairman Mao of China is the same thing. Nothing comes. China, Mao, moving the people. Ghana got it better than our own because they had rulings in the past.
They used to say in Singapore, if you drop a paper, you're going to be arrested. tested, you're going to be fine. Yeah.
You must be brave. Brave like Kwame Nkrumah. Brave like Rawlings. Brave like Leung Koyo of Singapore. To lead a country like Nigeria, you must be brave. And
tough.
if the law does not allow you to do the right thing, look at the process. Get people within who will challenge those who are doing the wrong thing, rather than waiting for some people to repent and say, hallelujah, now we are coming. They have been eating a lot from the big pot alone. So, Ferdinand.
Ferdinand, final say from you.
I keep saying it.
Okay.
My brother. But you see, my joy is that even though we seem to be, not moving at the pace we wanted, but there is some little progress.
Yes, a lot.
What we are doing.
A lot of progress.
We are not where we were before now. All we are praying for are people who will be, less self-centered, less, nepotic.
Exactly.
More broad-minded, and will not be seeing things from the mirror of my people.
No nepotistic.
You see, that's
the thing.
That is the bottom line.
And that is
the
why
day we are able to get that kind of person
exactly
to lead this nation.
We'll
you see, Nigerians are very easy to lead.
Exactly.
This is a country where you can come and insult the whole nation today and come on air today and say, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. They will forgive you.
Why are you even blaming
They will forgive you.
Well, gentlemen,
Yes.
we've solved the problems of the world.
Exactly.
We've solved the problems of Nigeria. We could actually go on for another hour.
I faulted the money
time is up.
for the forms for APC.
Okay.
At the change government to say, so all this money, 45 million, so on. How will Ferdinand Khalifa get?
We have to leave.
You can't get this
Again,
money.
time is against us, and quiet guys. So thank you to my guests, our cameraman in the studio, our crew in the control room, and the Global Reports production team. This is me, Arthur Brooks, signing out. One more week. Till next week, next Wednesday, please join us again. And thank you for our guests, Ferdinand and Professor Khalifa.
And thank you all for
Good night.
Nigeria shall survive.
Good night.
We must move on.
Yes.